Plays
AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, welcome back. What a great lineup of guests so far. We've been chatting with entrepreneurs throughout the program, and we love to talk about business. We love to talk about jobs. And my next guest, Dennis Muller, the president and co-founder of Microtrain Technologies, certainly knows a thing or two about putting people back to work, something that is so critical in this day and age. We all know somebody that has been, laid off, furloughed in some way. So many people are unemployed, people that we know. Perhaps it happened to somebody directly in your family. That's why I was so excited to have Dennis Muller agree to come on the air. Dennis, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me. Shalom, honored to be here. So thank you.
Oh, it's great to have you. So Dennis, tell us briefly about yourself and Microtrain Technologies.
Great. Thank you again. We're a technology and business skills training organization, but more importantly, a back-to-work organization. We're a training organization here in the Chicagoland area. Been in business for 21 years. I have 3 physical brick-and-mortar training locations: West Suburban Lombard, Illinois, downtown Chicago, and North Suburban Deerfield. Of course, being in post-COVID world, we're not doing any training in any of our physical locations, but being a back-to-work organization, personal and professional development is very, very critical, and we just feel very blessed that we can still provide services and help individuals get trained, get certified, and hopefully become gainfully employed.
That's right. So, Dennis, I want to talk to you about the jobs that are in demand, because we do know that while so many people are unfortunately losing their jobs, some both recent college graduates and some that may have been in their job for who knows how many decades and thought that they were going to retire from their current position. And then COVID hits. And that means that it's time for retraining. Dennis, what are some of the trends in the market that you are hearing from companies around the Chicagoland area, and some of the skills that your team at Microtrain is putting in place to help people get into those companies?
Well, Shalom, you hit it right on the head. Organizations are looking for individuals that can be nimble, flexible. I think what happens, and I definitely fall in this bracket. I'm a Gen X, and we get in a role in an organization, and we're used to kind of doing our one thing. Or I'd like to use the term kind of a Swiss Army knife. We're a jack of all trades and a master of nothing. And it's really easy to get caught up in that tailwind in an organization, because organizations want to be lean. They want to get thin. So my message to everybody is you really need to be adding value to organizations. And really, it's either making the organization money or you're saving them money. Again, this middleware piece is out. So how do we do that now in the new world that we're in, I guess you would say, is Agile Scrum, agility. You have to be agile and flexible. It's kind of a newer way to manage projects. Project management is, of course, critical. And project management, just to keep it light here, is very well defined. You have milestones you complete, and then you have a deliverable. And where agile, you don't really see the end results. You have to be able to meet consistently to make sure the project is on time and on budget. And then, of course, technology, we can't say enough about that. So if you're a tech person, you definitely have to be involved with cloud computing. Everybody's migrating all their services to the cloud or the internet, so to speak. And then for what I call information workers or business workers or business professionals that may not be a technical person to work with technology, you really have to be able to be working in data analytics and data visualization. Because as we say, if we don't measure something, we don't care about it enough. And how we used to do that in the old world is we would use spreadsheets, Microsoft Excel. And then when we graduated from that, we graduated to what we would call report writing. So you had tools like Crystal Reports and SQL report writing. Now we've graduated to dashboards, live dashboards that connect to real data. And those tools include Tableau and Microsoft's Power BI or Power Business Intelligence. I highly recommend every individual know a dashboard tool.
Really, really interesting. And we're in a minute, we're going to squeeze in a quick break, and we will continue the conversation talking about WIOA, because I know everybody's minds are already exploding with all the acronyms. We want to give you one more acronym to learn a thing or two about, but it's an important one. But I'm chatting with Dennis Muller, again, the president and co-founder of Microtrain Technologies. We've been talking about some of the hot courses that really are critical for those that may have lost their jobs and now are looking for retraining. And Dennis, you touched on it earlier. And just before we go to break, I am curious. So right now you have pivoted completely to remote learning. Is that correct?
Oh, exactly. We've been doing it for about 2 years now. I like to tell everybody, this is not our first rodeo. We've been using Zoom for almost 2 years. And interestingly, pre-COVID, I'd say about 80% of my clients really, really dislike this remote distance learning. They want to be in a classroom, and I agree with that. But post-COVID, we have to be safe. And we've had clients absolutely still refuse to do training, but the alternative, of course, is to do nothing. And it's worked very, very well. Surprising results. People are like, well, you know what? This isn't bad at all. This is the
one thing that I can credit you with for sure is the quality of your instructors. I believe many of your instructors, you talked about the PMI, the project management certification, and many of the other courses. You have amazing instructors that I believe you have a thing called the exam pass guarantee to make sure that folks are going to get their training, pass it the first time around, and make sure if they need to be retrained so they can get that training, get that job that they need. So again, Dennis Muller, fascinating stuff that you are doing, helping people get back to work. Dennis, I'm going to have you hang on there for just a minute. We've got to squeeze in a couple of quick commercials. And when we come back, we're going to talk about WIOA and the program that can pay for all of that retraining that we just talked about. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business jobs and entrepreneurship. We'll be right back.
Imagine if your most 60, the answer.
You're listening to Get Down to Business. I'm your host, Shalom Klein. You can get on my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download the 6+ years of this program. Some fascinating entrepreneurs, guests, people sharing tips, talent, advice, amazing things. And that is my returning guest over here, Dennis Muller, the president, co-founder of Microtrain Technologies. Dennis, you and I were just talking a little bit about some of the courses that you offer. And I apologize to our listeners because I'm throwing another acronym, but it's an important one. It's called WIOA. Dennis, can you tell us about WIOA and how your team uses WIOA to help retrain people to get jobs?
Great. Thank you again. WIOA is an acronym for the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, WIOA, and it's a federal back-to-work program available nationwide for potentially training for those that are in job transition. And this WIOA training grant, again, helps individuals retool and get trained so they can get trained, earn a credential, and then get back out there working. WIOA encompasses much bigger than that. There's other services available to help individuals land and become gainfully employed. We work with individuals in two verticals, business, process improvement, and technology. But WIOA is available for other industries, including right now, of course, there's a demand, believe it or not, for truck driving, logistics, retail, and so forth. Again, we focus on the business aspect of training. And this grant, again, is available for those that are in job transition. There's some minimal qualifications. They're not bad. And what Microtrain specializes in is we specialize in a blueprint on how to apply for the training grant. Individuals can certainly seek out WIOA, visit their local workforce office and navigate all that. But I think we find a way where we can make that path a little bit easier for individuals. We kind of show them or handhold them. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the individual has choice on where they do training, and we're hoping that we provide enough value add they would at least take and consider the training that we offer.
And right now, you can't open the news without seeing the staggering numbers of unemployment. And really, these are dollars that are out there to assist you, and they're available to you to assist you with getting trained. So essentially, that next job should be a slam dunk. It should be because companies are looking for for talent, folks that have those skills. And Dennis, you hit it right there, that your team specializes in providing all of the instructions to make a somewhat complicated process a little bit easier, and ensure that folks can get trained. So Dennis, we're quickly running out of time. Are there any other courses or programs that your talented and amazing team at Microtrain Technologies offers that might be of interest to our listeners?
Definitely a business analysis. And again, if we're not measuring something, we don't care about it. You're an analyst, whether you believe it or not, you've done that. If you're a technical professional, you have to really take a hard look at cloud computing, Amazon Web Services, or Amazon AWS. We try to provide kind of what I would call a mixed bag of training offerings, where you can be in a couple of different programs or pieces of training, so that way you can kind of spread risk in your job search. More importantly, the takeaway is you earn a credential. You earn a professional, industry recognized certification, and that's huge for branding, because we have to do it. We have to be found online.
Well, thank you for all of the important work that you are doing, and thank you for helping folks get back to work. You're doing critical things. And like we said, your team walks folks through the process. Lots of info sessions available. Dennis Muller, can you share your website where people can learn more about these courses and the WIOA program?
Yes, microtrain.net, microtrain.net. Visit our homepage. We have a link right on there. We're hosting live webinars 4 days a week. It's about 90 minutes of your time. We explain the blueprint. We take next steps. I encourage everybody to visit the website. If you're looking for a direct contact, my colleague, Mary Toomey, Toomey. You can find her on LinkedIn. You can also email her directly, at microtrain.net.
Thanks for joining us, Dennis Muller. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Did you miss the open enrollment?